You arrived like midnight wind, silent, sudden, impossible to ignore. There was a gravity in your gaze that pulled me without resistance, like the tide surrendering to the moon. From the first hello I knew you would not just pass through me, you would stay. And you did, but not in the way I expected. You became the haunting in my hallways, the hum in the silence after the music fades. Your love wrapped around me like smoke, tangible but slipping through my fingers every time I reached to hold it. I remember the warmth of your palm on my cheek, the way you said my name like it was a secret you didn't want the world to hear. You made me feel seen, cherished, safe. But love, as I've learned, is not always a sanctuary. Sometimes it is a ghost story retold in every heartbeat. I still feel you in the space beside me at night, still trace your smile in the air with my memory. They say the dead can't speak, but yours do. In the rhythm of my breath, in the whisper of fabric when I dress alone. You never really left. I walk through this life with pieces of you clinging to my soul, gentle as petals and heavy as stones. Our moments replay like soft cinema in my mind, quiet laughter in crowded rooms, the comfort of shared silences, the way you reached for my hand even in sleep. You had this effortless magic in you, the kind that didn't shout but spoke in steady pulses, in glances, in thoughtful pauses, in the way your presence filled a room with meaning. And now in your absence, the spaces you occupied echo louder than any voice I've known. I feel you when I wash the coffee cups we once shared, your lips still etched on the rim in memory. The songs we loved play like laments now, the lyrics aching with a truth I never understood until you were gone. I sometimes think I see you in crowds, in flashes of movement, in laughter that matches your pitch. I follow, but it's never you. It's just the ghost of my affection chasing silhouettes, chasing fragments of a love that never truly died, only changed form like water into mist, breath into wind. There are nights when the longing becomes unbearable, when I lie awake bargaining with the dark just to feel you again. I'd give years of peace for 1 hour of your voice, one last look that tells me it mattered, that I mattered. But ghosts don't speak, do they? They only linger, and that's what you do. Linger in the air I breathe, in the poetry I write, in the spaces between thoughts. I try to pretend I'm okay, that I've moved on, but it's a lie I tell with practiced grace. Because how do you move on from someone who is stitched into your very existence? You don't. You learn to live around the absence. You create routines, distractions, masks. But beneath it all the ache remains, a quiet, constant reminder of what once was. I sometimes wonder if you feel it too. If your heart ever calls out to mine in the quiet. If your hands ever reach out in dreams and find only air like mine do. They say time heals, but some wounds are sacred. They don't want to close, and maybe mine never should. When I look back on us, it's not the grand gestures that stay. It's the tiny details that crush me. The way your thumb traced circles on my wrist. How you memorized my coffee order. The way we spoke our own language in smiles and shared glances. Those pieces remain like confetti on the floor after a celebration, proof that something beautiful happened even if it's over. Sometimes I speak to the empty room and pretend you're still here. Not out of madness but out of love. Because love, when true, doesn't vanish. It evolves. Yours became the ghost I welcomed, the phantom heartbeat that syncs with mine. I think of the day we said goodbye. Not with words but with silence. And that silence has grown louder with time. You were a chapter I never wanted to end. And now I reread those pages nightly, tracing your name in the margins of every dream. They say closure is a gift we give ourselves, but I don't want to close the door. I want it cracked. Just enough for your memory to slip through and remind me that once I loved deeply. It's in autumn that I feel you most. The chill in the wind reminds me of the first time you gave me your coat. I still wear it, though it hangs looser now, not just in size but in spirit. You're not in it anymore, but it still smells like pine and something warmer. I walk under golden leaves and think of how you used to point out constellations, telling me stories I didn't always understand, but I listened because it was your voice. I still look up at the stars, hoping the sky might give me a sign, a message, a flicker of your spirit carried in moonlight. You taught me how to find beauty in small things, and now those small things feel like relics. I hold them carefully, reverently, like artifacts from a past life. I've dated since you smiled at new faces, kissed unfamiliar mouths, but none of them feel like home. because home wasn't a place, it was you. And now I roam through days like a ghost myself, pretending I'm whole when really part of me still walks beside you. Your absence has made me a poet, though I would trade every stanza just to have you back. My pen bleeds what my mouth can't say, because how do you speak about someone who's both memory and marrow? You reside in me now, a haunting harmony to every melody I sing. People ask me why I still hold on, and I smile, because they've never known a love that leaves fingerprints on the soul. You weren't perfect, we weren't, but it was real, it was ours, and that's worth remembering even when it hurts. Sometimes I dream we never parted. In those dreams you laugh like you used to, and I reach for your hand and it's warm, solid right. And then I wake up and the cold hits harder than any winter. But I carry on. I put on the coat, drink the coffee, walk the familiar streets we once claimed. Because if you are a ghost, then I am your shrine. Every step I take is a candle lit in your name, every heartbeat a hymn for what we had. I will never stop singing. I wonder what you'd say if you saw me now, if you'd be proud, or if you'd see right through the mask I wear. I pretend well. I smile at parties, laugh at jokes, nod when people talk of moving on. But inside I'm stuck in the echo of your last goodbye. I've become fluent in your silence. I know its weight, its rhythm, its cruel comfort. It wraps around me like an old scarf, frayed, familiar, impossible to throw away. You taught me love and then you taught me loss. And I don't blame you. I never have. Some things aren't meant to last forever, but that doesn't make them less divine. You were a season I wanted to keep repeating, a fire I was willing to burn for. And I did. I still do. Even now I write your name in steam on mirrors, in the margins of books, in the center of my prayers. I don't want to forget you. I want to remember even if it hurts. Because pain is proof that you mattered, that we existed, that love in all its forms leaves marks. Sometimes I sit in our favorite spot, the bench by the lake where we used to watch the sun slip behind the trees. I go there when I need to feel close to you, even if it's just in spirit. The wind whispers through the leaves and I pretend it's your voice. I close my eyes, let the chill sting my skin, and imagine it's your touch. I know it's foolish, romantic even, but what is love if not a kind of beautiful madness? You made me believe in forever, and though our forever ended too soon, I still believe in the magic of what we had. I see you in reflections, in passing trains, in sudden laughter that doesn't belong to anyone near me. You're not gone, you're just elsewhere. And maybe one day somewhere beyond this world I'll find you again. Until then I live with the ghost of my affection, holding it gently, fiercely, like a flame in the dark. You were my greatest chapter, and though the book has closed I keep rereading your lines, because they are mine, and you were mine.